wait for any possible outcome of the constitutional processes that may happen.
All right, and finally, let's look at the headline of the Star, where we have Uhuru re-elected president on 39% voter turnout, 38.8 to be precise, but around 39% when it is rounded off. So president says he's ready for the petition and will submit to the constitutional path no matter the outcome. So, of course, the president again there expressing an exuberating confidence that despite the fact that he's expecting this may have to be taken to the Supreme Court, he is confident that this time he is likely to have the petitioner basically not listened to by the Supreme Court or the petition thrown out.
Oh, yes. He was very clear that he is well aware that the Constitution provides for any citizen to challenge that declaration. So he's well aware that possibly this declaration is going to be challenged in court. I think for those who are in Jubilee, it's a cause for celebration. But then what next after celebrating? You realize that Article 138 of the Constitution requires that a presidential election be held in each of the 290 constituencies. So I think that is a determination for the Supreme Court to make once the petitions are filed and lodged. So it's a legal issue which the Supreme Court will have to be confronted with. But be as it may, the onus right now is on the president-elect. Should he be successful, should that win be upheld, then the onus will be on him to lead the nation in reconciliation, because apparently, even in the words of the chairperson of IBC yesterday, there is a serious problem. Every electoral cycle, the presidential election is bitterly contested. We have seen instances of deaths, destruction of property. So there will be a need of some national dialogue on that issue.
Absolutely. But now, on a legal perspective, we do know that there are some constituencies that did not participate in the election, despite the fact that it's very clear on the Constitution that it should be all 290 constitutions. Now, what is the likely scenario, given that Wafula Chebukati has got valid reasons as to why that did not happen? He did give a date. He tried to postpone it, but the closer it got, the more dangerous it got for his officers and even the area. So he may have valid reasons. But then again, is the Constitution something that is negotiable given the circumstances surrounding?
We may only be able to draw parallels because, one, you have the constitutional provision that says where two or more candidates are nominated for the presidential election, then an election shall be held in each of the 290 constituencies. In legal terms, when you talk of the word shall, it connotes a mandatory requirement in that an election ought to be held. Then there's the other section that was quoted, Section 74, that says, that is of the Elections Act, that where for any reason or another an election cannot be held in a certain area, then the IBC can be able to postpone that election, but for only a short period. So I think when you read that section, when you postpone an election, there is that expectation that then after some period, a week or 2 weeks, that election should be held. But that is not the case. It was not held. So the Supreme Court is going to be faced with a predicament where 4 counties, voters did not participate. About 25 constituencies, voters did not participate. We may only be able to draw parallels. Like we mentioned last time, in Thailand, in 2014, there were massive protests by opposition supporters. They disputed a snap election, which was called by the then Prime Minister, Thaksin Shinawatra. And the effect of that was that they withdrew. They boycotted those elections. And ultimately, in the opposition strongholds, those elections were not able to take place. The incumbent won, as it has happened here, and that win in Thailand was challenged in the Supreme Court. And in its ruling, the Supreme Court said that the Constitution requires an election be held in each of the constituencies in Thailand, which did not take place. So we may only be able to draw parallels, but you may not know what reasoning the Supreme Court may take on this issue.